So it's equivalent to Vice Admiral.
Listen, that raid exotic kind of sucks.
Yeah, no, it's all Void 3.0, 100%. Like that's all it is. It's Void 3.0 the gun,
Yeah.
which is like neat,
Yeah.
but
I mean, I'm glad I have it and don't have to worry about it.
of
But
course
it's
you
not
have it
good.
already. What is that run number? Boss run number 7?
9.
Nine.
But you know how Bungie is with putting an exotic primary
Not
as a
even
way
double digits.
exotic. They never ship it great.
Right. Well, so how many possible boss clears can you have at this point? 9?
Yeah, I guess so.
I believe so, yeah. Yeah, because we're going into the third weekend that was available.
I've had every I've ran the boss every possible point up to this, and I got it on my last run this week.
Oh no, he didn't hit double digits. Who could have guessed?
Last time I got it week 2. I mean, this was 150% of the time that I had for Vex Mythic class.
So sad.
There's not a catalyst slot for it, is there?
No.
Yeah.
I did buy the ornament for it last week
Yeah.
just to try to trick the game into giving it to me. It seemed to work.
It changes your field of view. It's like crazy.
Oh, really? Haven't
Yeah.
even... I literally fired it, and I was like, man, this gun kind of sucks.
Yeah, just like
And
leave
that was
it.
That's
it.
really too bad too.
Leave it normal, aim down sights, and then put the ornament on and aim down sights. It just completely opens up your screen
Like, wait, in a good way?
in a good way. Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. Because the ornament looks nice. I like the ornament versus the regular look.
Mm-hmm.
I can equip it, and you can look at it if you want.
I already seen the YouTube video. I'm good.
No, I'll wait till I get it in July.
Chad, you're not missing anything though.
You're gonna get it.
I'm
You're
not.
gonna
I'm
get
not
it
saying I
right
am
after-
missing anything.
After the podcast. I'm gonna let the dog in.
Yeah.
And then I'll be ready to get the party started.
All right. All right.
Probably gonna pee as well.
That's totally fine.
Oh man, I only got one raid completion. I just haven't.
That's fine.
I just haven't made it a priority to get really playing a lot of this game.
Yeah, it's odd, right? Like I don't know, because I feel like this is the most I've ever taken like of days off
Yeah.
in like an expansion.
Yeah.
And it's not even because it's a bad expansion, because I love it. The story, there's so much stuff that's going on. It's good. I just, just take little breaks here and there, and it's totally fine.
Mm-hmm. I just got my first 1560 to drop today. So the hunter.
Yeah, I'm one drop away from starting to get 60s on my Titan. So,
between banner drops, raid drops.
Yeah,
I think I have like.
I'm trying to do my +1s to get me to 58, so that my banner and raid drops give me 60s.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't waste them, because then one of them turns into a 59, two of them turn into 59s. It's enough.
Yeah. But if that first 59 pushes you over the edge, then it's worth it.
Yeah, the first one does, but I have 2 slots that are already 59.
Oh, okay.
So it's like that's where they're gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Banner has been a very slow gameplay for me in the freelance. Like
Really?
I probably maybe like a fourth of my games go to the limit. Like actually, like people score the 150 points. Yeah,
Wow.
it don't. And, and it's probably just like the player base and the solos. Like everybody kind of knows what they're doing. A lot of people's been
Mm-hmm.
like playing lanes and like trying to hold down. I mean, doing map control like Halo days, map control stuff. So
Yeah,
I
holding
just
2 points and
yeah
just keeping them safe.
yeah.
I mean, that's pretty good. That's what you want to do on that, and if that's happening in freelance, then good.
Well, Chad, I wouldn't say that. I think I want more points scored.
Yeah, you only need like one person per point trying to keep it safe,
Mm-hmm.
while everybody else does fun stuff. If everybody's just sitting there looking down lanes, yeah, that can get really dull.
It's so much, and then it's probably. I mean, a part of the quest is also getting sniper rifle kills. So
Oh, okay, yeah, that'll do it.
that plays into
That'll
it too.
100% do it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the step I'm on right now. It's sniper rifle kills and just complete games.
Yeah, I haven't even started it. Like, I haven't played any banana this week, and I'm like, I'll smash some out, get
It's
some
a lot
handled.
of the same. Like it's not. There's Titans with overshields. There's like a couple hunters that's invisible. There's still a lot of top tree Dawn, Striker Titans.
Yeah.
Nova Bomb. I mean, it's a pretty good mixture right now somehow, which is probably just like because a lot of people are like rotating characters trying to get this pinnacles done, I guess. But
Yeah.
for right now, to
Have
me,
you
the
finished
most,
the quest yet, or
No.
the pinnacles first?
I haven't. I'm like pretty close on 2 of the bounties to be done, but I don't even know what step I'm
Okay.
on.
Okay, that's not bad.
Like it was like just like games, solo void blows, then it's hand cannon kills, and then what I'm on is sniper kills, or glaive
Yeah.
kills, sniper or glaive, which I ain't using this stupid glaive in PvP. I'll tell you that.
Apparently, it's pretty easy to do with the glaive. I was reading on Reddit.
They can have it on Reddit. They can take mine. I don't even want to use it.
Which glaive are they using in there? The Enigma, or
I imagine Enigma, but I can't say for certain.
all right? I'll use the old Relics Bane.
Oh, did you put out a Zencaster thing?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he did.
there it is.
It's in there. It's in there.
Literally just now, yeah.
That's not what I want you to do.
Oh yeah. All right.
I want you to
Cool.
go. Oh, why? Oh, that's why. There we go. And then mute tab. Yep. Cool. Alrighty.
Everybody on the right settings and things in Zencaster.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Are we ready to get this party started?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
All right, I'm going to click start recording. I'll talk. I'll hit the intro music, and then Jared, you get us rolling.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yep.
We are live for episode 52 of the Conqueror's Corner podcast. Today is Friday, March the 18th, and I am still sad, but not as sad as I was last night. Not Ryan Fox, here with my fire team, Jared.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Last night was tough. If you know our interests outside of video games, last night was probably one of the low points that we've had in some time. And I know Fox got a good dose of copium last night on Twitter. If you are seeing his personal account, so It's a good some funny replies to go read on.
At not Ryan Fox, by the way. And the chronicler himself, Chad Ocero.
Oh, I do not have the same interests outside of gaming, so I was doing fine, and it's a happy day. It's a Friday.
And if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget you can take us on the road via Spotify, iTunes, and other podcast services. Make sure you subscribe, unsubscribe, and then resubscribe, and then click the bell and turn on notifications. Follow us on Twitter at DestinyCCPod. Send us Bungie friend requests so we can play games together. Specifically, this new raid, I would like to get some more people educated. That way we can run this thing pretty swift 3 times each week. Dylan, Jared's boy DMG, brought the TWAB this week, but you'll hear about that later. Before we get to the TWAB, we are going to listen to our wonderful intro music from our favorite Link, who you can find on Twitter at LinkOfTimeG. And we will see you on the other side.
All right, everyone. It's been quite a week for Destiny 2. First of all, the seasonal dialogue, and we got the last battlegrounds, and Crow just couldn't help himself but he had to go and screw it up and threaten our very partnership that we had going with the Cabal after we already took out a good chunk of them with the whenever we started going into the Throne World. They're trying to get there at the same time. And Chad, man, Saladin came through and saved our butts, didn't he?
Oh yeah, he definitely saved our butts, and it's definitely spoilery territory. And I'm hoping that Friday is long enough into the season. It'll take you like 45 minutes to get through the quest line if you've been keeping up with it. But he basically offered his life to Keitel to save Crow, who throughout this entire season he's been very critical of Crow towards to Zavala too, like in confidence when you hear them on like the radio broadcasts. And so he offered his life up to Keitel, and she took it but made use of it. So he is now Big Daddy Vala's Forge. He is a Valis on her council, her war council. So that's going to be really crazy. I think he's the first human on the council. They do have ions, so they have other species besides Cabal. So it's not unprecedented, but it's the first of our kind, which is awesome.
Yeah,
but that also means that no more bananas.
Well, if you listen to that,
I don't believe that to be the case.
No, they're changing up. He's the Cabal are not. They don't care about the Iron Banner tokens though. That was a little Twitter post that was put out just a little bit ago. So make sure before the end of this season you run out of those Iron Banner tokens. You use them up. Get maybe 1 or 2 plus 68 armor if you're lucky. And you know, he'll be getting the treatment that everybody else has been getting, which is going to be nice.
So it's going to be. So are we expecting like a targeting system similar to Saint and our boy Drifter?
Yeah, probably.
That's going to be nice. What's not going to be fun is rolling through those banner tokens, cashing those things in. Hopefully they're smart enough to make Iron Banner the last week of the season. That way we don't have to remember to do it like 3 or 4 weeks before the season's over.
I think you're wrong on that one because the guy gave us the week breakdown of when that's going to be.
They did.
But
he was the breakdown of the rest of the season.
What a segue. What a segue you guys didn't pick up on there.
Yeah, so a lot of people's been on Twitter asking DMG and the community team to like, hey, we used to have like seasonal roadmaps of like when stuff's getting released on certain weeks. So people was like, a lot of there's big content creators like to take weeks and weeks off to go do something else and whatever Destiny's at its low points. But we're here every week and dishing it out no matter what. So we do got some major major things happening later on in the season that probably we need to make sure we got certain power levels ready before we hit that week. And for us, we care a lot about Grandmaster Nightfalls, and that's going to pop off on April 5th, which is just 2.5 weeks away.
Ooh, that's not good for me. I've kind of slacked the last 2 weeks on the pinnacle game. I think I'm sitting at like 56 or 57.
Yeah.
I'm at plus 15. So that helps.
Unacceptable.
But
Yeah.
Unacceptable.
sorry.
Just save up those seasonal challenges and pop them whenever you're in a fire team in activity. That's what I've been doing. It's like just getting them done, but I'm not claiming them yet until like we're gaming together. And then next weekend, Trials is back with Zone Capture, which that's something that was around last season, and usually people get in there and have fun with that. April 8th brings Trials Freelance, which probably be the time I will be playing Trials for the first time this season, is to get in there and try to get a few of those engrams stacked up and focus a couple. The Shiari's Wrath now has Adrenaline Junkie in the last column. So now I think I actually want that, and then it's instead of running this funnel web that only has like a range of like 15 meters in downsides. So our ears got 20 something. So I know a lot of people was going off about funnel web. I think that sure as Wrath might be able to take it out of its place.
Man, that gun is so good. I love that gun. And I got like the absolute adept roll that I wanted last season of that, so I was very happy. That's really the only gun I really wanted last season out of that pool of weapons. So I was happy to see it. I would like to get a better summoner, and I was getting absolutely stomped by Aisha's Embrace and Iron Banner out of there.
Yeah, those yellow bellies hanging back at the back of the map, picking you off. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, they're probably Duke fans too, if I had to guess.
Foxy mentioned Iron Banner. We have 2 more this season, and that is the week of April 12th and the week of May 10th. And I believe the last day of the season is May 24th. I think that's what it says in game when you look at the season pass. So that is 2 weeks before the end of the season. So we'll make sure we remind you whenever that week's going on to make sure you spend all your tokens, and that you don't have any of those left over.
In the words of Dave Grohl, I've got another confession to make. I don't believe that I am going to get that quest done on all 3 characters this season for Iron Banner.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be I'll get the Warlock one done. I'll probably get the Titan one done. The Hunter, very unlikely.
Yeah. Well, if you just try to go 1 character per Iron Banner, you might be able to get it done.
Yeah.
A
little bit of night.
I'm already too far behind. I'm already too far behind on this one to do it. I can't imagine the second and third Iron Banner. I'm going to be more intrigued to play it. So.
And then we also have the Master Valve the Disciple coming out on April 19th. So that's going to be 1590 level. So that means you need to get
30.
You need to get 1560 and then have plus 21 on your artifact if you want to make that an easier experience than what it's going to be.
Jeebus.
Yep.
I think
What's going to be the
200
what's going to be the hardest
is
part of that, Chad?
bruh. You kidding me? What was the hardest part on day one? That's gonna be
Uh,
it.
I don't know. I don't think that third room will be the hardest part though.
I didn't
Jared's
look. I
just
didn't
like,
look what it's going to be,
"Oh."
but it's probably going to be something like you can't use the same artifact twice.
Yeah, I'm willing to bet it's gonna be that, exactly that. Everyone's got
Yeah.
to basically everyone has to cycle through all the artifacts
Mhm.
essentially.
Yeah, and then the last boss fight is just going to be double dunks and two people passing the buff back and forth, like
Or
person on the plate.
triple dunks. But
That's
no, it's
fine.
probably just doubles. Doubles is
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah, and then what would the caretaker be? Everybody
Um,
everybody has to shoot. Everybody has to get the symbols probably
Everybody has to shoot a set, like a pair of symbols. I'm assuming
because it
at
makes you
least.
do 3 floors, and you'd have to do 2 per floor. So
Oh,
that would
okay.
be
Yeah.
6 people.
Yeah.
So
Just,
I don't know. I'm sure you could data mine it, figure it out, but
Yeah. Next week, Val Disciple challenges do start up, but as we know, and how Vault of Glass went, you have to do the challenges on Master. So, yeah, they're coming out next week. Maybe it might be good to get some practice in on them. But the most important time to get them done is whenever the Master comes out to get the challenges done. Then.
yeah, because then you unlock the adept guns that way for the chest at the end.
All right. So that is the main points. I mean, there's all kinds of other trials weekends that's going on. That's switching between freelance and zone capture and those kinds of things. So, I'm sure
hey,
there'll be
let me
some
ask one
extra-
question.
Yeah.
Are we gonna have adept craftable weapons?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't think
I'm
so.
really
but I hope
hoping not. I think that's going to be only done through the because you can already buy them from the chest. So I think that's just how they're doing it. Crafting an adept weapon would be ridiculous. It would cost all your material to do it like once, or it should.
At that point, you're getting dangerously close to what the pinnacle weapons of Recluse and Mountaintop was.
Yeah,
If
you're
you're-
better off being forced to run a raid and unlocking it, and then you can buy it at the chest
Mhm.
and hope you get it.
I mean, we are extremely powerful now with all this stuff that's been going on. So
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I don't want there to be I don't want to have to get 5 adept weapons to be able to craft an adept weapon, because if I do that, I'll never craft like the normal weapon. I'll just be like, this is a waste of time to do this. So I do not want that. So
I mean, like,
hopefully
think
that's
about it.
not the case.
You only get the adept weapon from doing the challenge in the master. Then that's that challenge that week. That's the only way you get it. You know how hard it would be to to run the master, and you only have 3 chances per week to get that one weapon, and then it doesn't drop out of any of the chests. So that free red gun chest, it wouldn't come out of that. You'd have to hope you get it on that week and then buy it that week.
I really do.
No, it's
I hope they change that, where it's like if you're the first boss clear of the week, that if you have a adept weapon in your loot pool, that it can drop just once per week. Like say you have like the submission unlocked. That's the only one you have unlocked as the adept version. That can drop as the final chest, because you use 2 drops on your first character. So I think that would be cool if they let that happen. And speaking of crafting, boy, do we got some updates for you with crafting. This is something we've talked about a lot since it came out. I know Fox has probably lost some sleep trying to write a couple articles about it. And on Tuesday, there's a hot fix coming out that's going to change some things. And first of all, the element caps are going to go from 250 to 1,000, and then the neutral element cap is going to go from 8,500 to 10,000. So across the board, that's great news. And Chad, I know you've talked about a lot how you've been saving weapons that you completed and just putting them in the vault.
I've been keeping them on my third character and just like moving weapons around because my vault space is running out again. So like I have like 6 completed guns in each slot on a third character, and then some extras that haven't been done yet. Like I haven't just, if I'm sitting grinding like just strikes, I'll just toss them on there just to get them done if I'm not leveling up a weapon. But yeah, no, it's it's ridiculous. It's not. It's yeah. This increase is great. And then I think it's what they're talking about after that is going to be super helpful to just overall. I'm glad that shows that they're either it was already an idea, they were just testing this to see how it would work, or they were like, you know what, yeah, we need to scrap this completely 100%.
And then Fox,
either way, I'm fine with it.
Fox, go ahead.
Yeah, Jared. You want me to go ahead? Okay, I'll go ahead. So I know Jared and I were talking, I think it was before you got on, Chad, about how it seems like this crafting system got changed maybe 90% of the way through, and they had to kind of go on the fly to do this, which makes a lot of sense because, you know, whenever we first started, Chad, that day one, we're like, I think you got like a crate or some gun that had like overflow rampage on it, and you're like, which of these traits should I take off of this gun? And you know, they kind of mentioned in the TWAB that, hey, you know, like we had some things come up, we changed some things. Initially it was going to be this, but we had to settle for this. So I think that what we have was a half-baked idea that was thrown on at the end, and that's probably why they're so eager to change it. Did you guys feel the same way whenever you read the TWAB?
What came to mind for me was about them having technical difficulties about all the different currencies. Like they was like going to have just a rampage currency. So like if you got a weapon that drop with rampage, that's the only way to get the currency to extract the rampage. And then it would have to be a red border weapon in order to do that. And it was technical and usability issues. So when they throw in the word technical with also the usability issues, that I don't think the OG consoles could have handled all the different currencies. Along with, that's just dumb.
Gigs of RAM.
Yeah, that's just dumb to have that many currencies anyways. That's what came to mind for me.
Yeah, what Jared said.
Of course, right?
Now,
why wouldn't it be what Jared said?
Ascended Alloys, though, that's coming from like kind of like the in-game activities of the Throne World, and they kind of are okay with where they are because it's kind of just like it's just like an in-game chase. Like you don't need the enhanced perks on the gun, but it's something shiny to show off, saying that you've used this gun this much and you love that combo of perks that you went ahead and enhanced them. That's what it's going to mean to me if I see that for most weapons. But next season, they're just going to completely remove ruinous, adroit, mutable, drowned, energetic elements from weapon crafting, leaving neutral elements and ascended alloys. That's wonderful. Right? That's the only two they're leaving. And
So the neutral you get from like everything, basically, right? Those are like the green ones. And then the alloys, do you think they'll make them less rare, or maybe not less rare, but available from more sources?
Yeah, I mean, they're probably going to add like a source every season for it. Maybe if they add Throne World things.
I think the Master Race is going to have it.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because the glaive is the whole reason we have it.
10 of this?
No, I've never had 10.
I've never had more than 3.
Pretty sure you got the 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
I don't think it ever
I have
goes
no
to
proof.
the postmaster, does it?
Mm,
Yep.
I'll never know.
So weapon crafting is something that Bungie's definitely going to keep a close eye on going forward. And there's a few other points that they're looking into, but no solid thoughts going through so far. But they're going to look to add more player control over deep sight weapon unlocking of weapon patterns, and then continue to monitor deep sight weapon stacking, stockpiling, and acquisition rates. And we're also discussing feedback around reshaping costs for those who wish to experiment more frankly with their selections. So that last bullet point there, we always look at all these other weapons that we get to drop randomly, and there's always 2 barrel perks and 2 mag perks, and then trait 3 and 4. Why isn't it whenever you level your weapon to just to say level 25 or level 30 that you get to select another row of perks to put on the weapon? I think that would probably solve. I don't know what technical behind it, how difficult it would be for Bungie, but we have those weapons in game with 2 selectable traits all the way through.
I'll be real honest with you. I'd be satisfied with just being able to, if I've already paid the alloy or whatever for the enhanced trait, I just have that unlocked and I can go reshape it without having the cost of having to switch it and then reapply an ascendant alloy. I would be happy with that. Now, what you're saying with the everything that you've unlocked being available on the weapon, that would be like the dream scenario.
Yeah.
But we gotta walk before we can run, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm at with it.
I would just take 2
Yeah, I
rows
think-
at this point, though.
Well, so you can make it a swappable, hot swappable,
Yeah.
essentially, where you can like switch it during a raid, but then after you can fly in, move them around, and then fly back out. I mean, like I like that idea. I like Ryan's idea. Probably, I think it's makes the most sense. The only other thing that I thought of was like as you level it, the costs of reshaping it just decrease over time. So like obviously you're using it more. The more you use it, like maybe every 5 levels it chunks down or a little bit, or every 10, because that's how they work with like all the tiers and stuff. Like every 10 it just goes chunk, it drops like a significant percentage. So like once you hit level 30 with a weapon, it's like it's cheap. You can go in there no matter what and it's fine. Because like I don't really use my Palmyra a lot. I haven't used it in any endgame stuff. I use it significantly because it's fun. I like it, and it's already level 24. Like I'm cool with it. I like it. I like it enough that I slapped a gambit thing on it just to see what it would look like as a scientific test. I did, and I was like, you know what? I like this rocket enough. I'll be the guinea pig out of the 3 of us. If you guys haven't applied one yet, I'll let you know how it looks. But yeah, I mean,
on my glaive.
Yeah, I would put one on the Lubre glaive, the raid one. Would be dope. Or the fusion, the stasis fusion for sure is gonna get the pimp treatment. But yeah, I mean, like lowering the cost as it levels, and maybe the more open slots you add to it, I think it messes with their UI. So like it's weird, like just unlocking them at the enclave, so you can just go click and just like as you level you go, I'm gonna unlock this mag, and then on the next like level ups I'm gonna unlock this perk, and you just pay then in there, and then good to go, kind of like the artifact, right, where they're like as you level it up and unlocks things you can select, and then you just move on from there. I don't know, I mean, I'm just happy they're getting rid of those the next season, and it's just gonna be one thing. Yeah.
And
this is to give Bungie credit. This is the fastest they've ever admitted that there is something that is not in the player's best interest, and B, acted upon it. I think they kind of need a little bit of a little bit of a clap for that, because typically these are the things that get pushed to the back of what Bungie works on. It's the stuff like, oh no, there's a bug for this exotic that can make you too powerful, or people are receiving too much XP. Those are the things that typically they work on. This, like, hey, this isn't working. So they recognize the mistake, they have a plan to correct it, and they're acting upon it very quickly. So I think that they kind of need some kudos. If people like me are gonna criticize them when it comes to stuff, I gotta recognize whenever they do something great. So I'm very, very happy about this.
Oh yeah, they definitely respond to the community. I just wonder if like the engagement numbers for like people that only logged in for maybe like 4 to 5 hours a week, they were just like completely ignored weapon crafting because they're just so afraid to spend the materials that we had so little of.
They're hoarding their Phoenix Downs and their elixirs. You never know when you're going to need them, buddy.
That's right. Listen, I'll be honest with you. I play this game a lot, and I've been hoarding materials because I'm afraid to use them. So, I mean, I fall in that same category as well.
All right, that's pretty much it for the TWAB. Just a quick note from DMG at the end that a lot of people have been grinding very hard. So make sure you take a break, drink some water, and go touch grass. I guess if you're into that. All right, next is time for weapons breakdown. We're going to do the 3 playlist weapons. So that's a Gambit, Strikes, and Crucible. So go ahead and start out with this Gambit weapon and get it out of the way because the next two are hot. So the Gambit weapon is the Herald C. It's a stasis high impact frame auto rifle. And I don't know about you all, if I'm using the auto rifle, that crate that's a stasis rapid fire frame is so much more fun to use compared to this weapon. And it's an open world drop, and I have to grind Gambit to try to get one of these weapons, which I ain't going to grind Gambit. Not going to be able to do it. So we'll go ahead and get into these weapon levels and see if you got the ones to go for. So PvE, the recoil direction of this weapon 77, I think, or it's in the 70s. So arrowhead break maxes you out at 100. And then we'll go high cal. And then for me, auto-loading holster and Vorpal paired together, because I think I'm not really going to use this weapon a lot. I need to use a stasis auto. And that usually means shield breaking on majors at stun point. They're going to have stasis shields. So that's just kind of what the weapon I was thinking to use, that keep in the back pocket for that. But this gun can also get stats for all and one for all combo, which I found to be pretty nice. I got it on a hand cannon recently, and that synergy just feels so good. Just doing that extra 35% damage, and then having like near max stability and handling and reload at the same time. So that's what I'm thinking for it. And then PvP.
I said I have a subsistence demo roll.
Yeah.
On this, and it feels pretty good, man. I mean, I'm pretty blessed on the rolls typically in this Gambit playlist, specifically. So I got that one early. What is it?
You gas Gambit up, that's why.
Listen, me and the Drifter, we go way back. So so with that, I really like that subsistence demo. I can, those play pretty nice together. So if you get that roll, I would look for that one too.
All right. If you use this in PvP, God help you. But if you are, again, arrowhead break, high cal, and then I'm thinking dramatic sway reduction along with tap the trigger. So at all times, you're getting extra accuracy, benefit, and stability, and target acquisition. So, all right, Fox. I think you was on this shotgun like day one. Like I logged in and it's like, oh, I got a shotgun to drop because, dude, I love that shotgun. So, what we looking at with this? Fortissimo.
I'm going to butcher this name. I'm going to say the Fortissimo 11 kinetic slug shotgun. Comes out of the Strike playlist. This gun has a lot of like cool rolls on it that are pretty synergistic. Before, so Hammerforged. This is for PvE. Hammerforged Assault Mag. I personally love Assault Mag. It's one of my favorite shotgun perks that I look for. And then 4th time's the charm, Vorpal. You can get a demo and Adrenaline Junkie. There are a lot of rolls for this gun that play very nice together. We were actually talking about it in the pre-show, or it might have even been the pre-show, that we were talking about it on. So I'll be real honest with you. Haven't played a whole lot of PvP, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. The only thing it's missing is auto loading holster, and then it would have been probably the best kinetic shotgun to go chase. Unfortunately, that's the only thing it doesn't have. And with Iron Banner going on, Crisis Inverted, an Arc 140 RPM hand cannon is out to go get, and this is another weapon with lots of good combos to go chase. And I got 2 PvE roles to talk about. First one is Hammer Forged High Cal, and then Demolitionist with Adrenaline Junkie. And this is Arc. So eventually Arc's going to have a 3.0. And whatever version of all tower rounds that we get in Arc, and you compare just throwing more grenades, and then your weapon doing 33% extra damage from getting a grenade kill, it just sounds like a match made in heaven. And I know Chad's over there so happy with his Titan main, and he can go double grenades all the time. He can go hard at innermost life and buff his grenades. And I know he's been loving Titan 3.0 for Void. I know you ever dreaming about Arc 3.0, ain't you?
Oh man, the Void explosions are just fun. I mean, Heart of Inmost Light is definitely a MVP with Void 3.0 because you get a couple grenade kills and then you throw a shield, you got your grenade back already with the Void 3.0 stuff, and I'm barely using guns. I'm just watching everything blow up, and it's a lot of fun. And then I'm dropping a shield for us to give us all some overshields, and I'm excited to see what happens with Arc, especially because of the grenades, and with demo and adrenaline, and this being it's that Amalon hand cannon, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh man, I love Amalon guns so much, especially the hand cannons.
Mm-hmm.
But demo adrenaline is definitely one to chase for sure for that one, to have it in your pocket for that Arc 3.0.
Not to mention, like, that role, this alone it's a great at every activity you do, Gambit, PvP, and PvE. Like, if you got that role on any hand cannon, you can roll any activity and just judgment.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So the second PvE role is Hammer Forged Armor Piercing Rounds, Demolitionist with Adaptive Munitions. So I just thought it was a great comic, because I actually almost got this role to drop in a Crucible right before we went live. Instead of Armor Piercing Rounds, I have High Caliber, which, oh no, I think I can live with that in PvE.
Right.
But how many times, like, we go to do the Nightfall, and we're like, oh, we have 10 arc shields and 1 solo shield. So you're like, one person has to run solo for that 1 shield. But with adaptive munitions, you can bypass that. Might take a couple extra shots, but you will eventually be able to break that shield in match game. So I think it wouldn't be a bad weapon just to keep a lookout for. But PvP, it's in the energy slot. It's just going to compete directly with Palindrome. As of right now, you haven't had an opportunity for Palindrome to drop this season. Which I don't know if it dropped this week or not. I haven't did the Nightfall. But it's going to be dropping soon. But maybe you don't have one. And you can get a hand cannon that competes directly with Palindrome. And that is Hammer Forged, High Caliber Rounds, Moving Target, and Rangefinder. It has, I think it falls short of Palindrome by 2 meters maxed out. I think you can get this pushed down to 34 meters, and Palindrome can be easily at 36. But it's right there, and it can compete very well. And it has, as Chad said, the Amalon perk, so you get the additional stability and reload at the top end of the magazine, which is good to keep your accuracy cone intact with hand cannons. The only thing I note of here is, like, 2 of these 3 weapons are just amazing combinations. However, they are not craftable weapons. So I think, again, Bungie, it's probably just a little timid to throw some crazy perk combinations and like 140 hand cannons, which are the meta, slug shotguns, which is like, they pretty much have been S tier in PvE. They kind of got bumped down a little bit. But for the most part, I mean, these two weapons have been part of the meta no matter what you're doing. And I'm just looking forward to maybe seeing if Bungie ever opens this up a little bit when it comes to weapons to go craft. That's kind of a little more in the meta, and see how that shakes out. Because if that's the case, we're probably going to see a lot of crafted 140 hand cannons running around in the Crucible whenever that is an option. You're going to get killed.
Yeah.
Like, if that Cantata was craftable, I think that would be the most used gun in Crucible because everybody's trying to level it up. And then it'd be the top voted Reddit post that gun needs a nerf. So
I think they're kind of mitigating that issue with them making all the vendor specific weapons chaseable like they did with Trials. So you're able to pick engrams and make them into a specific gun. So that's how they're kind of getting around not making it craftable, but making it easier for you to help narrow down getting just that specific weapon and hoping to get the god roll on it. I think that might be as close as they're going to let the playlist weapons get. And they even said that they're going to like rotate them in as like each season goes on.
Yep.
So like I'm looking forward to definitely some of these guns that I just have abysmal luck getting, and crafting a couple and hoping I get some goodness out of it, you know. Definitely Gambit week is next week, right? Mr. Not Ryan Fox. I believe double XP.
I did see that when I logged in this week. Yes, you are correct.
Yes, so I'm definitely, I will be in there with you, my big boy, and we will be getting our seals.
Well, everybody knows what time's coming up now. It's time for the lore segment. And Chada, what do you got in store for us this time?
Oh baby, I teased a little bit of it last week. We wanted to give some people a little bit of time to catch up on the raid, and I definitely did that. We're talking about Rolk, the guy who literally came out of nowhere. If you only play the game and do not read like spoilers, like we try not to spread spoilers. So if you're in there, like you start hearing his voice, and if you have the subtitles on, you see the name there, Rolk, and you're like, who's that? Because you've heard the name Witness plenty of times, and all of a sudden this Rolk guy shows up, and he kind of talks to you a little bit during the raid, talks at you, you know, and once you beat the raid and go back in, there's the preservation mission where you can go back in and you can hear a little bit more of his story. He gives you a little bit of snippets here and there. But the book that you get out of the raid and out of the secret wish wall, we'll call it, actually gives you his origin. We know that he is from a planet called Lubre, which had a blue star and what I guess would call a black hole. It's a binary system where the blue star orbits around the black hole, which we've found plenty of them in the universe, so we know it's a thing and it exists. And they're actually in a planet that is in that same system. And through the book, we learn multiple things. One of them is that we believe that they've been stabilized by the Traveler, and then the Traveler left. So Rolk's species was touched by the Traveler, and I'll once I get there in the story, I will definitely point it out. But the lore book is in a very interesting point of view. It happens basically right after Rolk exterminates the rest of his kind and is the last surviving Lubrian person in existence. He is having a conversation with the Witness. And they're having back and forths, and the entire time the Witness is talking to him and they're having this conversation, they are pushing flashbacks, pulling memories out of Rolk's head and making them vibrant and making them something that he's experiencing again. And this entire conversation is basically happening within the book, and it's all happening like within like a certain block of time. But it's set up in a weird way where like you have Rolk talking, then you have the Witness talking, and then you have a flashback all happening at once. So I'll try to make it more apparent when those happen, obviously, because I'm going to be reading these directly because they're very good. But if you read them, you can see the differences of when it shows just Rolk in a flashback and the witness, and I definitely recommend it so that you can get it a lot better of a feel. I wish I had like a voice changer to do like the witness voice here, so I could give you guys the real deal. But like I said, it starts off right after he kills his own kind, and it just he says, "What have I done? Fear, how mothers, sadness, fathers come to hate their children, this sorrow, forgive, displeasure, me." Flashes back, chaos, Lubre convulses the sky, shatters. This was the cost of justice? An enclosed cell, introspection, subjugation incoming, life appended. You made me do this. 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 Father's face, mother's face, empty. Clan broken, blood pouring, silence, eerie. It was them versus us. Then it was us versus them. I ignored who us was. I forgot who them was. Our city, an abyss surrounds, Lubraean made, infinite, or just empty, divides, silently conquers. Ignorant contentment, love, I was cared for. My clan, safety, dual fire in the sky, blue light, salvation, dark light, death. Safety, my clan, my family. And who cares for you now? There are none left. Do you desire it still? Once, I did once, and you returned it. Our wildlands and abyss separates, and made. Anger flares to confront the stalkers. Father's hands hold me back. We lock eyes. His communicates sympathy, pain, regret. He won't let me reach the wanderers. Their blood spills. A lesson in inaction. Father wants me to see what he's seen, to feel the powerlessness he's felt, to feel insignificant, to accept the status quo. You were never capable of returning it. Slaughter. Our eyes meet again. Father's saddened, apologetic, afraid, not of the stalkers returning across the bridge, but of me. He sees not the sane in my eyes, only confusion, anger at everything. You have your answer. It is not our answer to have, but yours to embrace. Embrace why? Hello? And what more of this family is yours? They're gone, dead, all of them. They don't matter anymore. Is that so? What do you even want to know? You want to know more about my father, the Lubraean traitor, or perhaps my mother, another Lubraean traitor? I should have seen it coming. I could tell you about my clan father, clan mother, also Lubraean traitors. They were all city dwellers once, loyalists to the regime before exiling themselves. Do you see now what I see? We see unfinished business. We see a child seeking validation. We see great loss. Content together, fire burns bright. Our cavern is alight, we hide within it, keep safe. The sky is outside. And surely there are some with shelter this night. Those who will be torn apart by the wild, by the umbral sun, by those Lubraean guards who call themselves stalkers, pursuing us on behalf of a brutal regime. Long ago there were only wanderers, surviving a harsh landscape covered with shifting blood-thirsty flora. Surviving wildlife can flatten themselves until they are practically invisible. And now, we are divided, split by a shimmering orb that appeared briefly in our sky, as if having two suns isn't already crowded enough. What of this shimmering orb? It was before my time. It came. We evolved. It left us with a mess. Those who believed in good progress and those who did not. Those who believed dwelled in the city, controlled it, filled it only with the light of the Saphiric sun, and endless day to keep the horrors of night away, revealing the horrors among us. They pushed progress for the sake of the few, while the rest of us took our chances under the alternating suns. And this shimmering orb you now see before you There it is, shining silver in the sky like the stories told, providing hope when Ow. Bodies, limbs, vaporized remains, a shattered sapphire, lubre, irreparable, an umbral sun shining in the darkness. What have I done? What was necessary? We survive. We give back to the land. We help those in need. They come for us anyway. The regime raids our camp. No logical explanation for those they kill. Clan mothers, clan fathers, children. They kill us without purpose. And red, spattering courtesy of the stalker spreads across my face. Goodbye, Fent. Goodbye, clan uncle. I am covered in red. It is all I see. It spills out of these stalkers like endless crimson wave as I face them. Their valuables and instruments become mine. A glaive of my own, a Severic converter. Father is carried off. Not killed. Not yet, anyway. Not many of us are left. Mother and the others look at me with concern, not for my injuries, but for those who have suffered at my hands. They disrespected your power. They were weak. And yet you still saved them when you could. The stalkers attack us under the umbral sun during migration. They know how to find us. They know we move at twilight, the space between when the stalkers hunt and the planet kills. We barely survive at the safe house. They dance and sing, not in celebration, but in admiration of their continued existence and the memoriam for those lost. I sit in anger. I hunger for revenge. Loss meant little to our kind. It was too rampant. Are you sure it wasn't just you? You know not what you ask. I am a boy. I hold a furry little yacht in my hands. As it wriggles before pulling it apart, it separates from its skin with ease. What is this worthless, pointless thing? Why show me this? This you have already seen, experienced. Surely you can handle it again. This worthless, pointless thing, it dies so unceremoniously. Did it ever matter at all? The children weep for their lost pet, but I feel powerful. You know what you are. You always knew. Mother and the others look at me with concern, not for my injuries, but for those who have suffered at my hands, and they are right to do so. Tearing their bodies to pieces brought only joy. What am I? I'm a monster. I knew it then, and I know it now. Not a monster. A savior. Father, it's been a year since you were taken, but we have not been attacked since. I know the stalkers still watch the clan, but I survive alone these days, ousted for being the only one brave enough to act. A liability, they called me. We will see what they say when I bring you back, if you still live. Every umbral sun I walk the abyssal perimeter with the help of the severe converter's attunement to our great sun, providing me light in the dark. The stalkers don't expect me, so they don't see me, and the glaive, a tool of the regime which I have named after you, Relic's Ward, makes eviscerating them much easier. I kill many looking for a sign of you, wash my hands with their blood in the hopes of your continued existence. And now, as you stand before me draped in the insignias of the very regime that took you, I am confident that you have no answers. As you call your fellow stalkers to overwhelm me, to bind me, to carry me into the dense, unending city of Lubre, I am confident that you are a coward. As you testify at my trial that I should be put to death for what the regime calls our immeasurable crimes, but should instead serve alongside the stalkers, alongside you, killing wanderers, annihilating clans, I am confident you are an opportunist. What about Mother, our clan? What about down with the regime? What about biding our time? Or is this another lesson in inaction and sparing ourselves from the absolute worst so you can barely live, barely survive? I am confident, Father, that you will die by my hand. The regime took all that mattered to you, and yet you blamed your father. The regime never lied about who they were. They were brutal, yes, but honest. Honesty means something to you. It meant everything. Interesting. And so in the face of your father, the hypocrite, you leaned on the regime that enslaved you both instead, that killed so many of your kind. The regime did not enslave me, it freed me. The regime puts the glaive back in my hand, the one I named in honor of you. I have renamed it Relic's Bane. And now, no matter how you try to hide it, This scares you, just as I knew it would. The city may be overcrowded, the laws may be strict, the few may have all the power, but at least we're not out there trying fruitlessly to survive. But most importantly, Father, nobody denies me my thirst, my lust for blood. They encourage it, feed it, and they have begun to show me truths about the Wanderers, about what the glimmering orb encouraged. You always claimed the hands of the regime were stained red, but you never showed me yours until now. How dare you stand before me now and confess your disloyalty to the regime? How dare you lie to me again? You may have overwhelmed me this time, escaped my grasp, but I am coming for you. I will end this. Stop. Why? I don't want to do this. I don't want to relive this. Most would die for the opportunity to retread their greatest moments. Great moments end in triumph, not mass extinction. In the end, what mattered? The end? No, no. We are very far from the end. You are not yet ready to taste true glory. You may not yet be familiar with the concept of metamorphosis, but we assure you, you are experiencing it right now. You were once free to roam your little box, but lacked wings to fly out of it. And so you grew them, the little larva that you were wrapped in a cocoon. Now you need only cut yourself from it. But to do so, you must leave behind that which made you weak, retaining only that which makes you strong. But my world, shattered, recreated here for you, reformed all around me. Every painstaking detail, the suns, the abyss, the regime, Lubre. Every painful memory. My clan, my family, Kloa, clan father, Kisa, clan mother, Kita, sister, Vruna, mother, relic, father, their heads in my hands. Love for them made you weak. Power over them made you strong. Upon reflection, you are filled with regret, believing yourself to be under the spell of the regime, believing your actions in their tenure to be wrong. But morality, oh dear Rolk, is subjective. And now that you are all that remains of Lubre, isn't it time you made the rules? Isn't it time you looked back upon your life with pride? After all, your actions brought you to us, and only we can help you emerge from your cocoon. We? What even are you? We are your salvation. We are your judgment. And soon, we will be your witness. We still got another 5 more books to go, but it's his origins are wild, man. Like,
Dude. Yeah.
he exterminates everybody, and the witness is trying to help imbue him with the sword logic, essentially, is what it's doing, which is crazy, trying to make him the pinnacle of his kind. And it did. So we'll next week we'll finish that off, see where that's going, and then got a lot more stories from that raid to talk about. There's a lot in there, man.
It sounds like he's got a lot of Anakin Skywalker in him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely a lot of that for sure.
And I'm sure Foxes just loves that reference. So, all right, it's time for the mailbag.
Thanks, Jared.
First question: what is the strongest part of the newest raid? What is it's just saying that? What enemies?
What's the
I read it
best
to be
part, I guess?
I read it to be like, what part of the new raid do you think is the best? So I don't know. It could be encounter, which I'd have to say is the final boss because it's unique from the other. But also, maybe it could be like the views while you're running through. You know,
Oh, yeah.
I think it could go a couple different directions. Nothing in the music really jumped out at me, but I would say that final boss fight. That's probably my answer.
Okay.
I think
I think
stuck out to me is just one thing: walking in and like the worm god is like underneath the big cube prison
yeah,
thing. That's the thing.
big mama progenitor there. Yeah, we'll get to her in I think 2 weeks. We'll talk about her. But yeah, seeing that site like right after you, it's isn't it on your way into there? Like you're not even at the first encounter yet. and you like are walking down some stairs and you're like, is that a worm god just
Yeah.
chilling over there? That was wild because I remember I was in the back, like I wasn't there yet on day one, and everyone's up there and they're like, dude, that's a big worm. And I'm like walking through stuff, I'm like, oh yeah, look at these worms, that's a big worm. And I'm like the one in the room, and then I walk outside, I'm like, oh, that's what you meant. That's a big worm.
Yep.
I think, like Ryan said, it could be taken a lot of the ways, and I think they, with the music, they pulled a very Breath of the Wild thing, where it was meant to be background, where like it adds ambiance, and it's not like the only time it is any different is in the boss room, like during DPS, which is like, yeah, you know, it's got to be epic because you're attacking the boss, but having it be kind of background noise and adding like some kind of ominous feeling a little bit like that was cool. But yeah, I agree with Ryan. That last encounter, the boss, is definitely my favorite too, just because it's so different from. It's not just a he's right there, shoot him and just shoot him.
Yeah.
It's great. I like that. I like that he's still running around trying to kill you guys while he's in DPS mode. It's nice.
I really like it because you don't have half your fire team running around with relics. That's what I really enjoy about the final encounter.
Question 2. Why does LFG suck so bad? And do you ever LFG? I absolutely LFG. Like if I can't get 6 people together to do a raid, a lot of times I'll LFG the final boss, or something like that. I think a lot of the LFG is where are you going to do the LFG? I like the Discord server, like Destiny 2 LFG, I think it's called, or D2 LFG. That's probably my favorite place. That and like Destiny Massive Breakdowns. Because those people are even more into Destiny than I am. So I don't ever have to worry about people not knowing what to do or something.
Yep, IFG. I think the only thing I would say like how IFG can go bad is like the Master Wellspring. Seems like nobody ever has like everybody's on Overload or everybody's on Unstoppable or something like that. So just bite the bullet and go double anti-barrier. I mean, Arbalest is your friend, Divinity is your friend. To just support everybody else, and then you're gonna have a better LFG.
Yeah, I've been burned so many times by it that I will refuse to do it unless I'm with both of these guys at the same time, or if it's Wellspring one of them, because I know that both of us will run either both of the champ mods, or we'll cover each other. Because yeah, like Jared said, most of the time people all weirdly run the same thing and ignore the other one. So yeah, it's just my luck is and I go into it already feeling like it's gonna be bad, which ruins it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, go in as a support class, Ursa Titan, well locked, throw the healing nades out. Just like there's always some, Johnny Two Sticks out there running head first with a sword, thinking he can sword everything in a master activity, and it doesn't work out. So just do what's your best, just to help everybody else get through the encounter or raid or whatever, and you'll end up having a better time. All right, question 3. Describe Crow in 3 words. All right. I gotta think about this. What?
Mine's gonna be baby back BITCH.
I wish I saw this question earlier. Yeah, I don't know. Grab a Snickers.
What reminds me? I think the name was Rhea on Star Wars Rebels. Like there's like stealing spice from the Pikes, and like they just have this big argument, and she's like, and so she just dumps the spice out in hyperspace, which is the absolute worst move possible. Like as a Crow does, he just makes the absolute worst move possible. And I don't know, it's just so dumb. I don't know.
He's pulled Star Wars out twice now, Ryan.
Yeah, you got me started.
I must have been asleep during the first one.
Yeah, just talking about beneath twin suns on that lore too. I thought we was on Tatooine for a second.
There's 3. There's 4.
Oh boy.
All right.
All right, question numero cuatro. Favorite encounter fight in Destiny raid? Okay. In any Destiny raid, there it is. That's a tough one, man. Like I love Wrath of the Machine. So Axis, like the actual boss fight Axis, was one that I really like a lot. Like I love that fight so much, and the Zumboni is a lot of fun on the wall. But man, I like.
Mm-hmm.
I think those are the 2 that I would like to play again in D2 the
Yeah.
most. Like if I were to play them right now.
I think it's called the Descent on Deep Stone Crypt, where you go and you're dumping the nukes into like the chest.
Yeah, the Chaos Room.
Chaos Room. Yep. I think that's because you can slightly challenge yourself by saying no comms, and it's like whatever buff you grab, just go.
Just
And
grab it.
I think that can be very fun, and that's the one I'm picking.
Yeah, it gets wild.
Probably Golgoroth is my favorite boss fight, and my favorite like puzzle fight. What's the one with Leviathan Leviathan, to where everybody you had to like run the relay at the end
The Gauntlet.
around the outside
Yeah,
ring?
the Gauntlet.
The Gauntlet. I think
Yeah.
that would probably. My favorite boss fight is Golgoroth. My favorite like puzzle encounter would be Gauntlet.
All right, question 5. What are your goals by the end of the season? For me, it's just all raid adept weapons, and then Conqueror ×4.
Yeah, so I want the raid seal and title, all the adept raid weapons. I want to be able to craft the normal version of the raid weapons. I want to get the Conqueror 4 and Dredgen 4. Those are my goals for the end of the year.
Season.
Or the end of the
Well-
season, rather. Sorry.
Definitely gilding all the titles that I can gild is in there. Maybe finishing all the Throne World triumphs, just because I'm a triumph seeker for no reason. And getting that raid fusion, 'cause I still haven't had it to drop. I haven't had that drop, or the linear, or the SMG. I haven't had any of those 3 drop once. So
I haven't
I'm like,
had SMG yet.
yeah, and he has the exotic.
Yeah.
There's only 1 drop chance for that, but there's 2 for the others. Well, he's been running bosses, so that makes sense.
All right, that is it for the podcast, guys.
That's
Congrats.
it. All right. Well, make sure you follow us on Destiny CC Pod, on Twitter at Destiny CC Pod. We're on YouTube. We're on Twitch. All those are like Conqueror's Corner. Click the bell, like, subscribe, yada, yada, yada. I'm going to let these other 2 guys sign off.
Make sure you get those Iron Banner bounties done. Don't worry about the quests. Get the bounties done, because getting max level and that plus 15 on your artifact before Grandmaster starts, so you can get them all done in 1 week, and whip back Conqueror 4.
Yep. April 5th is when that starts. So I would normally say read the lore, but this week definitely focus on that Iron Banana, because it's going to take the most time. And let me read it for you for a little bit. All right. Let me take your books out of your hands and let me do it for you for a minute.
Go Cats.